Hello. This is Irene with SaugaTalks. Hello, everyone. If you're watching us on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on YouTube, or listening on major podcasting platforms, please make sure we hear from you because I know how important engagements are. And you know that we want the audience to grow. We want the audience to take advantage of fabulous conversations I'm having here and my fantastic guests, fascinating guests in tech who are so generous with their time, with their expertise, with their insights. So please, if you like what we're doing here, put the thumbs up. And if you don't like what we're doing here, still do that because maybe other people will find it interesting. Yeah, jokes apart. Exciting conversation today is coming about AI trends and technology career, which is again so many of us interested in, and so many of us still don't know where to start or how to progress. So Smriti Mishra is with me here. Smriti, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me here, Irene. And I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Pleasure is mine. The pleasure is mine. You are an amazing expert and leader, Smriti. I know I'm following you on LinkedIn. You have fabulous audience out there that is so excited to learn about your steps in the career. You have achievements, but you're so open to share what you know, and this is just amazing. So let's start somewhere with AI trends. AI trends. I ask many of my speakers, right? And I asked them to pick their favorites because there's so much progress going on across industries, across technology platforms, algorithm, any kind of aspect of business or tech we're touching. There is NI in it now. So, what are the top trends you think we should talk about today?
Yeah, I think it's a very important question. And the thing is, like, when it comes to artificial intelligence or technology, there's like so many things happening right now at the same time, and so many of them are super crucial. I think it's a nice way to bring in people from different backgrounds with different interest, passion, which helps cover a lot of different topics in general. So something that's like extremely close to me and something I'm very passionate about is actually climate change or like artificial intelligence in the whole environmental area. I have worked on it for the past 2 years, almost a little over 2 years, with Earth Bank, where I was the head of artificial intelligence, and again on some research on like basically similar topics, which was understanding carbon sequestration or the amount of carbon that is stored in a particular biodiversity using satellite images, using some deep learning and some computer vision. And the reason I think it's extremely important is because I think everyone in the world right now understands um, the problem of inflation in general, which kind of stems from climate change, in my opinion, because of climate change, we have all these different kinds of extreme, disastrous, like emergencies, which eventually leads to the price of food, for example, increasing a lot more than it was before. The problem of water, energy, like all these basic necessities which we need to survive. And I think that's where artificial intelligence can be very crucial in battling or tackling the problem of climate change. Like in order to improve, for example, energy efficiency, or help us use renewable resources, renewable energies better. And I think this would eventually lead to fighting the problem of inflation, which is definitely a lot worse in different kinds of economies. Like if you talk about maybe developing economies or some places where people don't even have access to the basic needs of, like, for example, clean water. And the bad thing is, or the thing that hurts me the most when I say this is that people who have contributed the least towards climate change are the ones suffering the most. And yeah, and that's why I think if we can use artificial intelligence, like technology, like other 4.0 technologies like remote sensing, or any technology towards it, it would be really nice. And I have been working with it, as I mentioned before, um, which basically helped us identify some key carbon sinks in the world, like the Amazon rainforests or the mangrove forests in India, in Sundarbans, and how, if we plant more trees there and we take care of the trees that's already there, how it can eventually, like contribute towards carbon sequestration and also contribute a lot towards the upliftment of lives of the people surrounding and dependent on it. Because these forests, they basically provide livelihood to a lot of people who are very directly and indirectly dependent on it. So yeah, so I think it's an important emerging trend out there right now. What do you think about it, Irene?
Perfect, perfect. I am basically an observer and I have a privilege to talk a lot of smart people, all right, who work in this area. So absolutely, I do see a lot of interest, of course, huge interest from investors' perspective, right? ESG, new companies forming as we speak, right? Researchers working on it, practitioners, right? Business leaders, and again, business community investing. So I am excited about like seeing how these practical applications of technology that actually still in the lab, right? How people, the smart pioneers, the brave pioneers, testing it and reporting the results. We have to be skeptical in terms of there was a lot of hype about early results, AI in healthcare in particular.
Yeah,
Okay, and we hear from years on, we hear that not everything, of course, realized, and that's the risk that, of course, those pioneers are taking. So to me, we will still watch with excitement what's really possible. But again, from practical standpoint, the adoption, it's got to be also orchestrated with a lot of considerations, and just turning this hype into realistic results. Okay, that's something I'm very interested in. So if you hear about progress here and there, happy to share, of course, everywhere. All right.
absolutely.